This year marks 1 decade since arguably the most polarizing Need for Speed title released, and as we look back on it in 2023, let's compare the things that it brought to the table to what the current offerings of the franchise are now. Welcome to the most underrated Need for Speed ever developed. This is Need for Speed Rivals 10 years later. Well, what's up guys, it's Faded and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing awesome as always, and welcome to Need for Speed Rivals 10 years later. I know some of you guys consider this one of the worst titles in the franchise, but I love it to bits, it's so much fun. So today I figured I'd go back and revisit this classic and talk about the things that I think make it one of, if not the most overlooked game in the franchise. If you guys go on to enjoy this video, do me a favor, hit like, subscribe, comment, and hit the bell for notifications, and share the video with a friend as all the support helps the channel greatly. And yeah, let's talk about Need for Speed Rivals. So let's flash back to 2013. We were fresh off the release of Most Wanted 2012, which was one of the most hated titles in the franchise. What we all thought to be a reboot of the Most Wanted sub-series that we have come to love and appreciate was simply just nostalgia bait by using the Most Wanted name to disguise this game as simply a Burnout clone with Need for Speed in the title. The game was littered with microtransactions, poor physics, some of the worst cops ever seen, making you wonder why this game was even called Most Wanted to begin with. And above all else, no customization aside from driving through gas stations to repair your car and randomly pick a color of paint for it. This game had no right being called Most Wanted, or even releasing in general. And of course, later on we would find out through alpha builds that Most Wanted 2012 was actually supposed to be a much bigger and better game, and actually continue the story of the 2005 installment. Okay, so where does this tie into Need for Speed Rivals? Well, allow me to explain. So, in March of 2012, EA Gothenburg, which is a Swedish EA studio, was renamed to Ghost Games. The studio was focused on development of new EA titles utilizing DICE's Frostbite engine. Now, which game came out later that ran on this same engine? That's right, Need for Speed Rivals. So the keys, no pun intended, were handed to Ghost Games midway through 2013. This resulted in Ghost having around 5 months or so to code, test, and release a premium Need for Speed title for November that same year. As a result of this, players were treated to this game, which acted as a souped-up version of Hot Pursuit 2010, reusing Seacrest County's map in its entirety, while also allowing for free roam and always online gameplay through AllDrive. EA really pushed the AllDrive and Overwatch technology for this game, so much so that the game required you to have an internet connection to log in. Now, you don't need to be online once you actually get into the game. You can go to the settings and change your online preferences to single player, but for a requirement like this, it's clear that real-time player interaction was at the forefront. Now let's get into the story, or should I say lack thereof. So, Zephyr is the identity that the player takes the role of within the racer career of the game. They're a prolific street racer within Redview County who's known for their internet videos and direct actions against the authority of Redview PD. The villain of the game is Fate, a former racer turned cop whose aggressive actions towards the racers make them one of the most feared officers in the game. The game is told through cutscenes and various other visual aids, which I think is a much easier way of telling a story, as there's no actual characters or sidemen to overcomplicate the plot. It's just videos with voiceover work. Now, the next thing I'd like to touch on is the gameplay, and like I said before, this game is basically an improved version of Hot Pursuit, so if you played that game, then you'll feel right at home in Rivals. All of the same features in Hot Pursuit are here, like repair shops and pursuit tech, with some new additions that I'll touch on now. So, new additions to pursuit tech include the Shockwave, Stun Mine, ESF, and Shock Ram, all of which can be upgraded to be more powerful using your speed points. If you don't know what speed points are, they're the main currency of the game. Players earn them as they complete challenges or events during gameplay. Now, this differs from the speed point system that was in Most Wanted 2012, as that system only used speed points to take you up the Most Wanted list to face Most Wanted racers. You couldn't purchase anything in-game with them. Accumulated speed points in Rivals can be spent on new personalization items, as well as upgrading weapons and new vehicles. Completing objectives in a speed list, which are the checklists with objectives that you complete to progress in the story, will reward the player with additional speed points, and completing an entire list of objectives will unlock a series of items. Engaging in any online event adds an additional 20% per participating player to the total amount of speed points awarded. As it pertains to personalization, you have access to a selection of body paint colors, paint finish, liveries, custom license plates, rims, and performance upgrades. The available selection differs between the player's progression and playstyle through each career. It's very bare bones as well, so players expecting customization depth of games like Underground 2 won't be happy with this. When it comes to the car list, it's very sizable, but it contains vehicles exclusive to certain factions. So for example, cars like the Hennessy Venom GT are cop exclusive, so you can only drive them as the cop. Same applies to certain cars in the racer faction as well. Now let's talk about the progression system. It's honestly the best in the series, so much so that it makes a return in Need for Speed Heat. Rivals has this all or nothing progression system. As you stay out and partake in events and complete speed list objectives, your amount of speed points increases, but so too does your heat level. Rivals has some of the most brutal police in any Need for Speed game, enough to rival, no pun intended, Most Wanted 2005. Rivals has 10 heat levels, so you have the ability to really push your luck against the Redview PD. The longer you stay out will increase the amount of awarded speed points, but will also attract higher level police. A number of safe houses are scattered across the map that allow you to bank your speed points and be safe from the cops. There's no worse feeling than being inches away from a repair shop or hideout only to have a cop ram into you and take you out, as if you get busted or damaged out completely before getting to a repair or hideout, you lose all your heat, speed points, and multiplier, making Rivals one of the most adrenaline-pumping and high-risk Need for Speed games out there in terms of cop interaction. Now, while I may enjoy this game and find it one of the better entries in the series, not everybody thinks that way. In fact, this game released with a lot of bugs, such as crashing and clipping issues. It's impossible to 100% the game on PC, as you need to obtain a gold medal in every event, and there are some that actually crash the game when you start them, making them impossible to complete. As I said in the beginning, while others may find this game to be at the bottom of the barrel in terms of quality, it's one of my favorites. It's not hard to enjoy this game, especially as someone that absolutely loved Hot Pursuit, and I think it's safe to say that Rivals could very well be the better version of Hot Pursuit, as well as one of the most underrated Need for Speed games of the modern era, perhaps even all time. Now I want to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts on this game? Did you enjoy it as much as me? Let me know down below, and while you're at it, consider leaving a like and subscribe with notifications on, and share the video with a friend, especially if they played Need for Speed Rivals too. All the support helps the channel greatly, and I'll see you all in whatever video I upload next. Take care.